They called it the golden age of Hollywood for a reason, because gold was valuable, and so were the actors and actresses who were part of that great era. Most are gone now: Gable and Bogart, Hepburn and Tracy. Of the remaining few, Maureen O'Hara is among the greatest. From her roles in The Quiet Man to How Green Was My Valley to all of those great films with John Wayne, Maureen O'Hara remains a star. I spoke with a wonderful redhead at her hotel in Washington, and we talked about her autobiography, "'Tis Herself." We started off discussing her relationship with the troubled director John Ford.
Good evening, Kathleen.
Good evening, Kirby.
Number one, you recognized him as the genius he was, perhaps the greatest director I ever worked with. And I feel that he was very unhappy with himself and his own life. I think he really, really wanted to be a great military hero, and he didn't make it. He just became the greatest director in the world.
Walt Disney always seemed to the public to be kind and wonderful, and yet you tell a story about him. You had a contract that, in The Parent Trap, you were to receive top billing, and
Yes.
yet when the advertising came out for the film, Haley Mills got the top billing.
Yes.
And what happened?
We were getting all ready to take Walt to court to straighten this matter out. And I got a call from the Guild, so I went in and sat down with them, and they said, "We're very sorry, but we have to advise you to call off any action against Mr. Disney, because he said that if you went ahead, he would destroy you." And they said, "He can, and he would, and we advise you to drop the whole thing," and we're heartbroken because we were hoping to go ahead with it. And I did. Well, what was I to do?
My goodness, you're beautiful.
Well, what's the matter? You're staring at me as if you'd never seen me before.
One of the most interesting stories in this book, and there's so many great ones,
Yeah.
you were in Washington having a birthday lunch with President Franklin Roosevelt.
And thrilled to be, I was only barely in the United States, and to be invited to his birthday in Washington was very exciting.
He finds out you're from Ireland, or you
Yeah.
tell him, and he turns to you and says something quite bizarre. What was it?
He said that Ireland was a communistic country and was going to announce to the world that they were part of Russia. And I was shocked. And I must say, I asked him where he got such stupid information that it was totally untrue. But I probably was very rude to speak to President Roosevelt that way, but I couldn't help it. I couldn't let somebody say that about Ireland.
If anybody had told me 6 months ago that today I'd be in a graveyard in Innisfree with a girl like you that I'm just about to kiss, I'd have told them...
Oh, but the kiss is a long way off yet.
Huh?
It's clear from your book that you and John Wayne had a very deep personal relationship, professional,
Yes.
and you were just great friends. You were with him just a few days before he died at his
Yes,
home in
yes.
Newport Beach, California.
Yes.
What was the source of that strong friendship?
Well, we respected each other. I stood toe-to-toe with him. I was tough.
So bold one you are. And who gave you leave to be kissing me?
So you can talk.
Yes, I can, I will, and I do.
He said that I was the greatest guy he ever knew. And people said to me, "Oh, that's a shocking remark." I said, "No, I'm very, very proud to have a man of his quality and caliber say that about me."
Miracle on 34th Street. You write that when you made it, you had no idea it was going to be a classic. Surely people still come up to you, even today, and say fantastic things about that film. What is the dearest thing to your heart about that film?
It was a wonderful picture. During the war, when I came to America, I came to make The Hunchback, but not to stay or not to migrate. And war broke out halfway through The Hunchback. So the United States government forbid us, the foreigners in the United States, to go back to the country they came from. And so we all stayed, and we all eventually became very proud to be in America still and become American citizens. Lawton didn't go back, Eric Palmer didn't go back. And then one day they said, all you foreigners can go back where you came from. You're now permitted. So, as you can well imagine, I was on the fastest flight I could get out of there to go home, and oh, it was wonderful, and I was enjoying it tremendously. And the phone rang, and it was 20th Century Fox saying, you have to come back immediately. You are going to be in a film in New York called Miracle on 34th Street. I was furious.
You couldn't get it because you're not Santa Claus, that's why.
I was wrong when I told you that, Susie. You must believe in Mr. Kringle and keep right on doing it.
When I read the script, I knew it was going to be a success. It was so warm and charming and sentimental, and I knew, but I didn't know it was going to be a classic, but I knew it was going to be a success.
You write in your marvelous autobiography, I am a tough Irish woman. I am like many of the women I play on the screen. Did that toughness work for you or against you, personally and professionally?
I felt it always worked for me, because when you can get a man of the quality of John Wayne to say, she is my favorite guy, then I think you've won the argument. I was tough when I was 3 years of age, I was tough when I was 6, and now that I'm 83, I'm going to continue to be tough until the good Lord sends for me.
Maureen O'Hara, thanks for being my guest, and may the road rise to meet you, and may the wind stay always at your back, and may God hold you in the palm of his hand.
And let me contradict you. It's not may the road rise to meet you, it is go nairi an boharlat. May the road rise with you.
Very
if
well
the
done.
road rises to meet you, it's to block your way, to stop you doing anything, and it means may you be a flop.
Now you know why she's feisty, folks. Thanks very much, Maureen, for being my guest and for telling it like it is.
And may the road rise with you.
I'm gonna have to-
Go nairi an boharlat.